I'm grateful for every blessing, even the ones I once didn't recognize, even the ones that arrived quietly while I was too distracted to notice. And right now, my dear, I want you to begin here with me. Take a slow breath in, gently, without force, and exhale just as softly. There's nothing you need to chase in this moment, nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to prove. Just be here, because this moment, this quiet space we're creating together, is already a blessing. And I know, maybe your mornings haven't always felt like this. Maybe you've woken up with a heavy heart before, with thoughts already racing, with worries waiting for you before your feet even touch the ground. I understand that. There were mornings when gratitude felt far away, almost unreachable, like something reserved for people whose lives seemed more together, more certain, more complete. But let me tell you something gently, sweetheart. Gratitude is not reserved for perfect moments. It's not something you earn once everything is finally okay. Gratitude is the doorway that makes everything begin to feel okay. And right now, you're standing at that doorway. You don't need to force yourself into happiness. You don't need to pretend everything is perfect. Just begin, softly, by noticing. Notice your breath still moving. Notice your body still here for you. Notice that, despite everything you've been through, you are still here. And isn't that quietly extraordinary? Take another breath with me. There is a part of you that has survived days you thought would break you. A part of you that kept going, even when you felt tired, unseen, or uncertain. And that part of you deserves your gratitude. Not later, not when everything changes. Now, because gratitude isn't about denying your pain. It's about holding your pain and still choosing to see the light that exists alongside it. You see, my dear, life doesn't always arrive wrapped in obvious blessings. Sometimes it comes disguised, like delays that frustrated you but protected you, like endings that hurt you but redirected you, like silence that confused you but taught you how to listen inward. And I know, in the moment, it didn't feel like a blessing at all. It felt like loss. It felt like confusion. It felt like, why is this happening to me? But what if, just for a moment, you allowed yourself to consider something different? What if life wasn't working against you, but quietly working for you in ways you couldn't yet see? What if every experience, even the ones that made you question everything, was gently shaping you into someone stronger, softer, wiser, like a seed buried in the soil? If you looked at it from the outside, you might think nothing is happening. It's dark, it's hidden, it's quiet. But beneath the surface, something is unfolding. Something is growing, and the seed doesn't rush. It doesn't panic. It doesn't compare itself to other seeds. It simply trusts. And my dear, you are allowed to trust your timing too. You are allowed to trust that not everything needs to make sense right now. Because sometimes the greatest blessings are not the ones that arrive quickly, but the ones that arrive at the exact moment you're ready to receive them. And that's the part we often overlook, isn't it? Receiving. We spend so much time asking, hoping, waiting, but how often do we pause and truly allow ourselves to receive what is already here? Let me ask you something gently. When was the last time you truly felt grateful, not just in your mind, but in your body? When was the last time you let gratitude soften your shoulders, slow your breath, warm your chest? Because gratitude is not just a thought, sweetheart. It's a feeling, a state, a quiet openness. And when you step into that state, even for a few seconds, something begins to shift. Your mind softens, your heart opens, your energy changes, and suddenly, the world doesn't feel as heavy, not because your problems disappeared, but because you are no longer meeting them from the same place. You're meeting them from presence, from trust, from a deeper sense of, I am okay, right here, right now. Take a breath, let that settle. You don't need to wait for something big to happen to feel grateful. Gratitude lives in the smallest moments, in the way the morning light touches your space, in the quiet stillness before the day begins, in the simple fact that you have another chance today to begin again. And yes, I said begin again, because every morning is a soft reset, a gentle invitation from life that says, you can choose differently today. You can choose softer thoughts. You can choose kinder words toward yourself. You can choose to notice what is working instead of only what feels broken. And I know your mind may try to pull you back into old patterns. It may say, but what about everything that's not going right? What about the things I'm still waiting for? What about the uncertainty? And that's okay. Don't fight those thoughts. Just notice them gently, like clouds passing in the sky. And then bring yourself back to this breath, back to this moment, back to this quiet truth. There is something here, right now, that you can be grateful for, even if it's small, even if it feels almost insignificant, because small gratitude grows, just like that seed. The more you notice, the more you feel, the more your awareness begins to shift. And suddenly, what once felt invisible becomes visible. Opportunities, moments of peace, unexpected kindness, inner strength you didn't realize you had. It was always there. You're just learning how to see it. And more importantly, how to feel it. So right now, I want you to gently place your attention on your heart. No pressure, no force, just awareness. And softly, in your mind, or even whispering if you want, I am grateful. Pause. Say it again. I am grateful. And let those words not just sit in your thoughts, but sink deeper into your body. Let them soften something inside you. You don't need to list 100 things. Just begin with one. I am grateful for this breath. I am grateful for this moment. I am grateful that I am still here. And as you say it, notice what happens. There's a quiet shift. Isn't there? A softening, a slight opening. That's your natural state, my dear. Not stress, not fear, not constant striving, but presence, connection, gratitude. And the more you return to this, the more familiar it becomes. The more your mornings begin to feel different, less rushed, less heavy, more intentional. Because you're no longer waking up to react to life. You're waking up to meet life with awareness, with softness, with trust, and that changes everything. Not all at once, but gently over time. Like the rising sun, it doesn't rush into the sky. It slowly, steadily brings light into the darkness. And before you even realize it, everything is illuminated. That's what gratitude does. It doesn't erase your shadows. It simply brings light to them. And in that light, things begin to feel lighter, clearer, more manageable. So stay here with me for a moment longer. Breathe and feel this truth. You don't need more to begin feeling grateful. You just need to notice what is already here. And as you do, something beautiful begins to unfold within you. Something quiet, but powerful. Something that will change the way you move through this day and every day that follows. And as you stay here with me, gently breathing, gently noticing, something inside you is already beginning to shift, even if you can't fully explain it yet. That's the quiet nature of gratitude, my dear. It doesn't arrive loudly. It doesn't force its way into your awareness. It unfolds. Softly, patiently, like light seeping through a window at dawn. And the more you allow yourself to sit in this space, the more you begin to realize something very important. Gratitude is not just a reaction to life. It is a way of being. You don't wait for life to give you something before you feel grateful. You become grateful, and life begins to reveal what was always there. I know that might feel like a subtle difference, but it changes everything. Because when you live in the question, when will I finally have enough to feel okay? You keep yourself in a state of waiting, of lack, of not yet. But when you gently shift into what is already here that I can appreciate, you move out of waiting and into receiving. Take a breath. Can you feel that difference? It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about allowing yourself to see beyond what feels incomplete. And this is where something deeper begins to happen, because gratitude doesn't just change what you notice. It changes who you are being. Let me explain this softly. Every emotion you feel creates a kind of inner atmosphere. When you feel stress, your body tightens, your thoughts narrow, your world feels smaller. But when you feel gratitude, even for something simple, your body softens, your breath deepens, your awareness expands. And in that expanded state, you become more open to ideas, more open to opportunities, more open to moments that you might have overlooked before. It's as if life begins to meet you differently because you are meeting it differently. And no, this is not something mystical or out of reach. It's something incredibly natural. Think about a time when you felt genuinely appreciative, even for a small thing. Maybe it was a quiet moment, a kind word, a sense of peace you didn't expect. In that moment, weren't you softer? Didn't everything feel just a little bit lighter? That's the state we are gently inviting into your mornings. Not forced happiness, not exaggerated positivity, but real, grounded, gentle gratitude. The kind that whispers, even here, there is something good. And my dear, the more you practice this, the more you begin to notice something surprising. Life hasn't necessarily changed overnight, but your experience of it has. The same day, the same circumstances, but you are no longer moving through them the same way, because now you are anchored, not in fear, not in urgency, but in awareness. And from this place, something else begins to dissolve. The constant need to chase. You see, so much of our exhaustion comes from the belief that we need to keep reaching, keep pushing, keep striving, just to feel okay. I'll be happy when, I'll relax when, I'll feel grateful when. But what if, just for today, you gently loosen that pattern? What if you allowed yourself to feel even a small sense of enoughness right now? Not forever, not perfectly, just right now. Take a breath. Because this moment, this exact moment, is not lacking anything essential. You are breathing. You are aware. You are present. And that presence is powerful. It's where life actually happens. Not in the future you're waiting for, not in the past you've already lived, but here. And gratitude is what anchors you here. It gently brings you back again and again to what is real. And the more you return here, the less control fear has over you. Because fear thrives in what if. Gratitude lives in what is. Let that settle for a moment. What if creates tension. What is creates peace. So when your mind begins to drift, as it naturally will, you don't need to fight it. You simply guide it back. Back to this breath, back to this awareness, back to something you can appreciate. Even if it's just, I am grateful for this moment of stillness. And as you do this, gently, consistently, something beautiful begins to take root within you. A quiet trust. Not a loud, dramatic certainty, but a steady, grounded knowing that something is unfolding for me, even if I can't see all of it yet. And that trust changes the way you move through uncertainty. Because instead of resisting it, you begin to soften into it. Instead of asking, why isn't this happening yet? You begin to feel, maybe something is aligning in ways I don't yet understand. And this doesn't mean you stop desiring things. It doesn't mean you stop dreaming or growing. It simply means you are no longer tying your sense of peace to the outcome. You are no longer saying, I can only feel good once everything is exactly the way I want it. You are allowing yourself to feel good now, and from that place, you actually become more aligned with what you desire, because you're no longer chasing from a place of lack. You're allowing from a place of fullness. And my dear, that is where true transformation begins. Not outside of you, but within you, in the way you think, in the way you feel, in the way you respond to life. So let me gently guide you a little deeper. Take another slow breath. And this time, as you inhale, imagine you are breathing in appreciation. And as you exhale, imagine you are releasing tension, expectation, pressure. Inhale, appreciation. Exhale, letting go. Again, slowly. And now, softly repeat within yourself, I am open to the blessings that already surround me. Pause. I am open to the blessings that already surround me. Let those words land gently. You don't need to force belief. Just allow the possibility. Because often, it's not that blessings aren't there. It's that we've been too focused on what's missing to notice them. And that's okay. That's human. But now, you're becoming aware. Now, you're choosing differently. And that choice, repeated gently each morning, begins to reshape your inner world. It begins to create a new emotional baseline, one where gratitude is not something you occasionally visit, but something you live from. And from that place, something else begins to dissolve quietly. The fear of not having enough, the fear of things not working out, the fear of being left behind. Because when you feel grateful, truly grateful, you are no longer in a state of lack. You are in a state of recognition. Recognition of what is here. Recognition of what is working. Recognition of your own strength, your own resilience, your own capacity to begin again. And that recognition is deeply healing. It tells your mind, I am safe in this moment. And when your mind feels safe, your body relaxes. When your body relaxes, your heart opens. And when your heart opens, you become more receptive to life itself. So stay here for just a little longer, breathing, softly noticing, and allowing this quiet truth to settle within you. You are not waiting for blessings to arrive. You are learning how to see them, the quiet ways you may have been holding yourself back from fully receiving the very blessings you've been asking for. Not intentionally, never intentionally, but softly, unconsciously, through patterns you learned long ago. Take a breath, because this is not something to judge. It's something to understand with compassion. You see, my dear, sometimes it's not that life isn't giving. It's that a part of you is still learning how to receive. A part of you that may still feel, is it really okay for me to have this? Will it last? What if it gets taken away? And those questions, they don't make you weak. They make you human. They come from moments when things didn't go as expected. From times when you opened your heart and something hurt you. From experiences that quietly taught you to be careful, to hold back, to protect yourself. So even now, when something good begins to appear, there can be a subtle hesitation, a quiet tightening, almost like your body is asking, is it safe to relax into this? And I want you to know that it's okay if that feeling is there. You don't need to push it away. You don't need to pretend you're fully ready. Just notice it, gently, because awareness is where healing begins. Take another slow breath, and let me ask you something softly. What if receiving doesn't require you to be perfect? What if you don't have to deserve blessings by doing more, being more, proving more? What if you are already worthy simply because you exist? Let that question sit with you, because so many of us were taught in subtle ways that we must earn everything. That rest must be justified. That joy must be explained. That ease must be temporary. But life doesn't actually work that way. The sun doesn't shine only on those who have done enough. The air doesn't flow only to those who have earned it. And in the same quiet way, blessings are not reserved for a select few. They move, they flow, they arrive. But you must feel safe enough to receive them. And that safety begins within you. Not by forcing yourself to believe something new overnight, but by gently reminding yourself, I am allowed to experience good things. Pause. I am allowed to feel peace. Pause. I am allowed to receive without fear. Let those words land softly, because this is where the deeper shift happens. Not in your circumstances first, but in your relationship with receiving. And as that relationship softens, something else begins to release. Self-sabotage. Not the loud kind, but the quiet kind. The kind that whispers, don't get your hopes up. This probably won't last. You should stay prepared for disappointment. And again, this voice is not your enemy. It has been trying to protect you. But my dear, protection is not always the same as truth. And you don't need to silence that voice harshly. You simply need to meet it with something gentler, something like, thank you for trying to protect me, but I am safe to experience this moment. Take a breath. Feel that. You're not fighting yourself. You're learning to support yourself. And as you do this, again and again, something inside you begins to trust more, Trust that you can feel good without something going wrong. Trust that you can open your heart without losing yourself. Trust that you can receive without fear taking over. And this trust becomes the foundation for everything else. Because when you trust, you relax. And when you relax, you allow. And when you allow, life flows more freely into your experience. So now, let's gently bring this into something simple, something you can carry with you beyond this moment. Not as a task, not as pressure, but as a soft rhythm for your day. When you wake up, before reaching for anything else, just pause, just for a few seconds, feel your breath, and quietly ask yourself, what is one thing I can appreciate right now? Not 10 things, not something big, just one. Maybe it's the comfort of your bed. Maybe it's the quiet of the morning. Maybe it's simply the fact that you are here, breathing, beginning again. And as you notice it, let yourself feel it. Even if just for a moment, that feeling is enough. And then, as you move through your day, you don't need to stay in constant gratitude. That's not real, and it's not necessary. But you can return to it gently whenever you remember, in small moments, when something goes right, when something feels calm, even when something challenges you, you can pause and ask, is there something here I can still appreciate? And sometimes the answer will be yes, and sometimes it may feel harder. That's okay too. This is not about perfection. It's about practice, a soft, compassionate, ongoing practice. And over time, this practice begins to change something very real inside you. Your default response, where you once reacted with tension, you begin to respond with awareness. Where you once focused only on what was missing, you begin to notice what is present. And slowly, gently, your inner world becomes a place that feels safer, calmer, more supportive. And from that place, your outer world begins to reflect something new. Not because you forced it, but because you changed the way you meet it. So before we close this moment together, I want you to settle in once more. Take a slow breath in and exhale softly, and just listen gently. As you repeat these words within yourself, I am grateful for this moment. Pause. I am grateful for all that is unfolding, even what I cannot yet see. Pause. I trust that life is supporting me in ways I am learning to recognize. Pause. I am open. I am safe. I am ready to receive. Let those words echo quietly inside you. No force, no pressure, just a gentle opening, because you don't need to rush your journey. You don't need to have everything figured out. You are allowed to grow slowly, naturally, in your own time, just like that seed we spoke about, quietly becoming something more beneath the surface before it ever shows above it. And my dear, you are becoming, even now, even here. So as you move into your day, carry this softness with you. Carry this awareness, this willingness to notice, this openness to receive. And remember, you are not waiting for your life to become something worth appreciating. Your life, in this very moment, is already worthy of your gratitude. Take one last breath and step gently into your day, knowing that you are supported, guided, and surrounded by more blessings than you may have ever realized.